What's going on, guys? This is Bobby Douglas, and this is just part 2 of the Trey Murphy full game breakdown. So let's get right into it. Remember, he's going to be number 25 in the blue, so right here. And Virginia's pretty much getting killed in this game. They're going to make a run around the 14-minute mark, I want to say. And they cut it down to like 7, but ultimately Florida State wins this game by like 20. So just to put that result out there. I don't know if you guys watched Game 1 of the finals. I'm recording this like right after it ended, so you can see Trey Murphy right here on Raekwon Gray again. So right here is another example where it's like he kind of struggles to move around screens, right? So right here, we talk about, how in the first half, it's almost like he's too wedded to his defensive stance, right? And he's almost like too disciplined. So right here, this would be a good example to kind of just like run, right, to just break out into a sprint to get around these screens. But just watch how he attacks this screen. So again, it's kind of like a DHL, right? And watch how he's just always in that stance, right? And so, a lot of times that's a great trait to have, but like right there, when he's chasing shooters around screens and things like that, you can't always be in a defensive stance, just kind of, like doing the wall sits, like sliding around the baseline, right? You can't always be doing that. And so I think Trey Murphy, he's a good off-ball defender, but I just think he struggles sometimes, like, kind of chasing shooters around movement, primarily because he's too wedded to those fundamentals of defense that you're taught in, like, middle school or even elementary school, right? So that's just something I've noticed in watching him. He's guarding Raekwon Gray. They kind of move him all over the place, just in terms of, like, who he guards defensively. You can see decent box out on Gray right there. And, I was saying, like, if you watch Game 1 in the NBA Finals, I think somebody said it on Twitter. I'm not sure who, but I saw like, oh yeah, like I'm in on Trey Murphy because I can see totally what he does given Cameron Johnson, right? And yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, right? If you guys watch Game 1 of the finals, like Phoenix won pretty handily. It got close a little bit late, but then it kind of just like fizzled out. Phoenix won. Cam Johnson had a very good game, and so I think Trey Murphy definitely has like similar size and just overall shooting capabilities as Cam Johnson. So I think that's a pretty apt comparison. Right here, another example, though, you're going to see him. Again, he's pretty good at keeping guys in front, right? But he's giving Raekwon Gray, like, if this is a better shooter, like, he's going to shoot that when Murphy goes under this screen. Or not even, under the screen. Not even under. It's more of a slip screen. But again, you can see he almost overcommits. Miscommunication here. This makes Kihei Clark scramble to MJ Walker, right? And Trey Murphy has to bust his gut to get over to, I think that's Raekwon Evans. And you could almost see, like, that time he actually did a little bit of a jog over there instead of staying in his stance, but he's very wedded to that defensive stance, which I think is interesting considering how so many guys that we see coming out have the opposite problem, right, where they're just not in a stance enough. Trey Murphy is almost in a stance too much, and so I think that's kind of an interesting problem to have. I mean, it's not like the end of the world, but I think in terms of like enhancing his quickness and overall speed, I think that would help a lot. Just being able to kind of mitigate your stance with some of just, being able to run around and things like that. We see, I think that was MJ Walker hitting that 3 as Florida State, again, they go up 19 here. And we'll see Trey Murphy's in that left wing. And so here we go. We got, again, moving the ball to Kihei Clark, and now he's just going to relocate to that left corner. Jay Huff's going to shoot that 3, and he can't get that one to go. So yeah, he's just like an interesting little prospect, honestly. Right now he's probably again in that I wouldn't say late 20s, but kind of like that mid 20s range for me, probably closer to 30 than he is 20. So I guess late 20s, right? I guess that's probably where I'm at with him right now. Just because I don't really see, what else he necessarily does outside of like shoot threes really, really well and defend, which obviously is a great, binary skill set to have. But I just think, I think the upside is probably a little bit limited considering he is older, and you kind of know what you're getting. But again, like those guys, if you're a contending team, I think Trey Murphy is like a very good pick for you guys. I think I have him going to Denver in my latest mock draft from like a few weeks ago. I think that would be an awesome fit for him. So yeah, just a lot of interesting. He's just going to be a very interesting pick on draft nights, whoever gets him. Hopefully it's like one of those, like, those Denver's, Lakers, Clippers, one of those teams. Hopefully it's not like one of these teams that kind of like gets lucky and they're in the back half of the first round and he has to go to a rebuilding team, because I don't think that's where his skills are going to be maximized. Right there, Kihei Clark with an incredible move. And this is what I meant. Kihei Clark kind of went bananas in the second half. But yeah, regardless, so we're going to watch the free throws, get this free throw, and then we're right back into it. And so now you can see Trey Murphy on Anthony Polite. So again, a lot more perimeter based. Let's see what he does here. Again, okay. Yeah, again, like just when he's on the ball, right, he's very good defensively because he's disciplined, right? It's that Virginia basketball kind of rubbing off on him, right, where all those Virginia guys are just so disciplined defensively. Tony Bennett does an amazing job of getting everything he can out of his players defensively, right? Because, like, at times, like, when they were there, like, Kyle Guy looked like a good defender. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like one of those things, right? And so, you know, I do appreciate kind of, like, what Virginia does. Just kind of, from a scouting perspective, it is a little bit difficult at times to try and, we'll see if he hits this three. Can't get that one to go. But, again, that's the type of shot he'll get in the NBA. From a scouting perspective, it's a little bit difficult just because Virginia plays such a unique style. You know, they played a pack line on defense, and then obviously they have like the, you know, one of the slowest tempos in the country offensively. So it's a unique situation for any player to, you know, jump right into. So, but overall though, it's a very, you know, very good college basketball program. I don't think there's any dispute about that. Kihei Clark again is good. That's gonna be a goaltend. Yeah, Kihei Clark is kind of starting to kick ass right now. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, okay, so Anthony Polite, Trey Murphy on again. And again, so like right here, like they're hard hedging with Jay Huff. And so I just want to see this baseline coverage. So, okay, so let's see what Sam Hauser does. So, oh, God. So Sam Hauser kind of needs to stay low, or it needs to be Kihei Clark. It's not really on Trey Murphy right here because he's just kind of guarding his man. Jay Huff is slow getting back. Luckily, they can't really figure that out, Florida State. But, you know, there was an opening there. You know, that is one thing with Trey Murphy. He does tend to go under a lot of screens and try and avoid contact on the perimeter, which I think is a little bit concerning. If you want to be one of those, like, really, really, like, just, you know, sound defenders, he needs to start going over screens more. So that's kind of one thing I've noticed as well on the ball. But, like, if you're putting him in one-on-one situations, right, I think he's one of the better, if not the best, like, just most reliable on-ball defender in terms of isolation. We'll see what he does right here. Nothing much. And so I'll be interested to see who he guards in the NBA. We'll see what happens here. Kihei Clark gets that steal. And can he finish? No. Trey Murphy, not much going on. Again, not a ball stopper. He's not going to try and take Scotty Barnes off the dribble right there like a lot of prospects would. Instead, you know, they're going to get it to Kihei Clark, and he's going to try and make a play. So, I mean, it's just he's not like a selfish guy. He's not really hunting for his shots. You know, he's just very much like he'll take what is given. And so I think that's a kind of a, it's a very positive mindset to kind of have as a guy who's probably going to be taken late first, early second to one of these teams that is in need of, like, you know, just kind of a guy who can hit open threes, move the ball, things like that, defend. And so, but again, like if he goes to like a, you know, an Oklahoma City or some team that's kind of rebuilding or at least not really in contention for the playoffs or the finals, I think Trey Murphy's kind of an interesting project as well. It's very interesting to see where he ends up. I'm hoping he ends up with a contending team just because they'll know how to use him right away. Gray, it's going to lose the ball right there, and it's going to be Virginia ball. But again, a lot of these guys, especially as we get later in the first round and second round, it's all about team fit and kind of just how you work with the players and staff around you. But again, like every team can pretty much use a guy who shoots 50, 40, 90, right? You see Trey Murphy right there, just bombs away. I think this is NBA range too. Again, just like catch and shoot, really nice footwork, right? Splash. And that's just kind of the Trey Murphy that you're going to want to see on your basketball team if you are a Bucks, Suns, Lakers, Clippers, I don't know, Nuggets, I don't know, even like Heat, Blazers, like any of those teams, he'd be awesome for. So now he's on Sadar Calhoun, obviously one of the more athletic guys. He's going to be at Texas Tech next year. So I'm excited for that. Good tag on Ngom right there. And then he's, again, right there, really nice contest. Calhoun just knocks it down. But again, look at how much ground Murphy has to cover, right? So again, he's not really super, like, off the ball, at least he's not super, like, you know, light-footed, I would say. So, like, right here, he has to tag Ngom, which is a good, smart play, right? Barnes with an absolute dime of a pass to Calhoun, right? And Murphy, you could see, kind of, you know, good contest, choppy feet, just can't really force that one to miss. But that was overall a decent contest, I thought, from him. So, and again, Calhoun kind of has to shoot that shot because Murphy's not letting him drive by, right? And so that's kind of like the poise and the balance that Murphy will give you. But that's a really, really impressive pass from Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes, by the way, given how I feel about Jonathan Kuminga, or I mean, like, what, kind of like, like, if I'm like correct in my feelings about how I'm going to feel about Jonathan Kuminga after his full game breakdown, Barnes might go up to 5. Yeah, because, I don't know, in the G League game I watched with Jalen Green, Kuminga did not look very good. Obviously, I wasn't watching him super closely, but like in the flashes I saw, I wasn't super impressed. Scotty Barnes, meanwhile, he's starting to really grow on me. I mean, I don't really know how he can, he's been like top 10, top 6 for me the entire draft cycle. Maybe top 7 on my big board behind Mitchell, but that's going to flip-flop. But yeah, like just his ability to just kind of like, play point guard, find open shooters, things like that, that's really encouraging to me. So it'll be interesting to see how I feel about Kuminga leading up to his video, because right now 5 and 6 are pretty much a toss-up between those two. Top 4, as I mentioned yesterday, is pretty much established. It's going to be Cade, Green, Suggs, Mobley in that order, I believe. And then 5 and 6 are kind of up for grabs, and then 7 through 10 are up for grabs as well. Great block by Balsa Koprivica from Florida State right there. But 7 to 10 is going to be like some combination of Bouknight, Davion Mitchell, Franz Wagner, and Kai Jones. My guess is that it's probably going to end up being, I'd probably go, damn, that's tough actually. Let me get back to you on that. I would say, no, right now I'll say it's going to be Davion Mitchell, James Bouknight, Kai Jones, Franz Wagner. Right here, good contest from Trey Murphy. Again, late in the shot clock, moving his feet well. Again, really active feet, and that's a big thing too. He's not taking these really long, overcommittal steps where you see some of these guys, like, they cover so much ground and have so few steps that it's really hard for them to change directions. Murphy does a really good job of just kind of keeping choppy feet, short steps, right? It allows him to react quicker to certain actions, especially when he's guarding on the ball. So really good contest right there. It's going to be Florida State ball right here, though. We got him on. Again, he's on Calhoun. Pretty much off the ball. Raekwon Gray, great move from him. He's an interesting prospect. A lot of guys seem to like him a lot more than I would consider. Like, a lot of guys I see having him, like, top 40. Right now, he's probably, like, top 50. So I got to watch a little bit more of him, really get a better understanding of his game. Because for a guy who I watched a ton of in college, like, I really don't have a strong opinion on him just yet. Just probably because I never really considered him to be, like, an NBA guy necessarily. He's a great player, but I just never really saw him in that role. But now it's kind of interesting to see him kind of rise up draft boards. Right here, Murphy needs to do a way better job closing off this baseline, right? So you're going to see Scotty Barnes drive, and number 4, I think this is Shedrick for Virginia. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But Barnes is going to drive, right? And so right here, look at how Trey Murphy is right here, and you can see Calhoun is wide open, right? I understand that he wants to help on the drive, but this pass is going to be wide open. Barnes is going to make this pass 10 times out of 10. He doesn't really have an angle for the shot. Murphy needs to be covering this baseline instead of being kind of in no man's land in the middle of the lane, right? You can see he almost gets that pass too. And again, it's a wide open 3. So, I mean, just kind of the understanding the off-ball positioning, I would say. And again, having quicker feet off the ball, I think would help him there as well. But just kind of like a game of inches right there. He almost got a deflection on that pass, and I think that's something he could definitely do more of in the future. Just be more of a disruptor off the ball. But just right there, just not great positioning from Murphy. I believe, no, he's still in. Yeah. Still in for a little bit longer in this second half and before he gets his first break. He's been in for a solid 8 minutes. Right there, miscommunication. Hauser, bad pass. Murphy kind of cut away when he was supposed to be. And now if Scotty Barnes is making threes, like, sorry, like it's pretty much game over for you guys. If he's making threes consistently, that is a problem. And again, I'm excited to watch Kuminga because he kind of needs to wow me to stay at 5. Because right now, Barnes is really making a great impression on me. Given his full game breakdown video, obviously his passing and the point guard, everything. Hauser for 3, no good. Murphy, good board. And again, I think if he gets put in more opportunities to get rebounds, I think he could be a better rebounder given his numbers. Again, only average around like 3.5 per game. I think that could get up to like 5.5, 6 if he's playing more on the blocks and playing closer to the basket. And you can see Florida State, this was the game where, like, after this game, everybody was just like, oh my God, Florida State's awesome, right? Obviously, you know, they could shoot really well. They just never got to shoot because they kept turning the ball over. But this was like their best game of the year, probably shooting-wise. Right there, Raekwon Gray, good activity, kind of cheating off of Trey Murphy. And now I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So Murphy's out for about 5 minutes of YouTube time here. And then he's back in at the 50-minute mark, basically. So I'll skip ahead here. And, yeah, we got him on, it looks like, who is that? Malik Osborne. Okay. Former teammates, I think, guarding each other. And we got rebound for Virginia, and you can see it's a 25-point game, but Murphy's going to hit, I think, a 3 and then maybe have another layup. No, I think he has one more 3 in him for the game. And you see right there, just quick decision-making, right? Again, this is the type of passes that Trey Murphy can make second nature, right? Just a simple one pass away, you know, taking advantage of a scrambling defense, right? You can see Florida State's all out of position here because of that shot fake, right? That gets Raekwon Evans out of position. This guy has to come over and help, right? And so now it's a 3-on-2 basically. So like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, right? And so there's going to be a pass. Murphy, quick, easy look, bang, right? And so he does have that potential. It's kind of like a ball mover type of player, right? You know, somebody who's not going to slow you down, right? Looks to make the extra pass, and obviously has that shooting gravity as well. And again, having a guy, we talked about this, I think it's, you know, just kind of a very recent example. So Jay Crowder today, right? I think he went, what did he go? 0 for 7 from 3 or something ridiculous. Like, he didn't make a shot all game, I don't think. And so it didn't matter that he was 0 for whatever, right? Because he has a reputation as a good shooter. And so what ends up happening is that defenses, you know, they can't help away if they know that you can knock down shots, even if you're having a bad night, right? And so I think Trey Murphy has potential to get to that point where it's like maybe even if shots aren't going in, because he kind of establishes that reputation as a good shooter, just by having him out there on the floor, it opens up things for his teammates, right? And so I think that's kind of an underrated aspect with a lot of these shooters, right? We talked about it, I think, with Moses Moody, too, where, like, you can't leave Moses Moody, and so he has inherent value. Trey Murphy has that kind of same type of quality to him, right? And so I just think that's kind of like an underrated thing that we talk about with shooters. Like when we do Corey Kispert or another shooter, you know what I mean? Like shooters like that, it becomes a lot more apparent, like how valuable they are, even if they're not making shots. Again, similar pass right here, just simple, right? Very simple. This time he actually kind of attacks his closeout. Good job putting the ball on the deck from Murphy right here. And again, sees Calhoun kind of coming up. It's an immediate pass to Sam Hauser. And this, I don't know if he finishes this. Yeah, he's going to finish it and 1, right? And so again, just a simple pass, you know, sees things one pass away. Not going to be a guy that's going to be whipping skip passes to the opposite corner and things like that. Obviously, not many people can do that. But just somebody who can, you know, you could play within the flow of the offense. He'll get his shots when he has his shots, right? He won't force anything, things like that. When he gets into trouble, he puts the ball when he puts the ball on the floor for an extended amount of time, that's when he gets into trouble. But overall, if he's just a guy that can catch and shoot, maybe attack a closeout with one dribble and then find an open player, that would be a win in my book for Trey Murphy. We got, let's see what we got. Yeah, okay. So we got like 6 more minutes of YouTube time, and then I think he comes out at like the 2.5 minute or 3 mark, just because this game is obviously a blowout. So, and you can see right here on Calhoun, again, really good job just kind of moving his feet, you know, active hands. That's another underrated thing about him, right? And you can always see both of his hands defending. He's not going to be a guy that gets caught reaching. He won't pick up cheap fouls. Just a very smart overall on-ball defender. Kihei Clark, great left-handed lob to Jay Huff, by the way. That was sick. And we can see that's Raekwon Evans on the ball. You can see Trey Murphy in weak side right now. Again, good job kind of avoiding that screen by Osborne. Not much going to his side on this possession, though. We'll see what happens here. And kind of following Calhoun around. This is a very good defensive possession for. That was an awesome defensive possession for Virginia. Florida State couldn't get anything there. Let's see what we got. Kihei is going to draw that foul. And here we go. So Murphy is on. Looks like Calhoun. So again, good job by Murphy boxing out, right? Totally a 180 from what we saw yesterday with Jalen Green, how he just refuses to box out. Murphy will box out, right? He's disciplined in that area, so that's good. Obviously, we all know boxing out is a lost art, but I still appreciate guys who do it, or at least look to do it, right? Jalen Green was just like, shut up, I don't care, right? That's not the case with Trey Murphy, though. And again, I do think he's a better rebounder than what his numbers suggest. I think that's something that could be added to his game rather easily, just in terms of positioning. If you want to play him at a stretch 4, I think he could get some more rebounds. And then obviously, like, his potential outside the arc is very high. So, again, that's what I mean. Like, just the amount of things that Trey Murphy can do, it helps him, have a higher chance of being successful in the NBA. You can see him right now being the kind of like the low man defensively. He's going to get the ball, guarding Anthony Polite. Again, let's see what he does here. Again, good active hands, right? On the dribble pickup, he'll get a little bit tighter in terms of coverage. And Malik Osborne's not going to get that one to go. Murphy with the rebound. And again, he's probably just going to dribble it up. He's going to get it to Clark. Nope, it's going to be a Trey Murphy show. Let's see what he does. And again, he kind of has like good like perimeter handling moves. Just when he kind of drives into the teeth of the defense, then it becomes a little bit more, a little bit weaker. But like I do think that he's a guy he can like kind of, if he tightens it up a little bit and kind of gets the motion down, he could definitely become like an off 1 or 2 dribble type of shooter too, which would add a lot more. It would add a lot more to his game because he's right now pretty much like a standstill shooter. So you can see right here, kind of gets caught up with Jay Huff. And again, this is what I mean where he's just kind of too wedded to his stance, right? Again, he's staying in front, but he's going so far underneath and he doesn't take the direct path to the ball that it gives the offense a lot more options, right? So right here, again, so he's going to get the ball, or his man's going to get the ball, right? And then watch how he just kind of stays in his stance, right? He kind of still is kind of looking to do that lateral movement, right? That shuffle. And I think a lot of that, like, wasted movement and, like the things like that could be avoided if he just, commits to sprinting every once in a while. Or just opening up that stance or closing it off and just kind of making a direct line towards the ball or towards who he's guarding. Because he does take really good steps when closing out, right? So he can afford to be a little bit more reckless in terms of getting, there we go, Trey Murphy, another 3, in terms of getting back to the ball when he's screened, right? So again, right here, open shot, Florida State collapses, good pass from, I think that's Reese Beekman. And again, Trey Murphy, catch and shoot, bang. Nice 3 from him. And I think 58:05, he's going to be out. We have like maybe 40 seconds left in this video. Again, Trey Murphy, stride for stride with Raekwon Gray. And then this is a way better job. This is what I mean. Like, watch him kind of, he gets out of that stance a little bit, right? And he's going stride for stride with Raekwon Gray, right? He's not trying to, stay in that, like the 90-degree angle, like bend your knees, foot fire, like palms up, everything like that, right? He's able to kind of show that little bit more flexibility, right? And he's stride for stride. Raekwon Gray can't go anywhere, right? And so that's something that I think could really help him out, just doing that more often. Right there, Polite. I mean, Murphy was all over the place. That's not really on him. That's kind of like Virginia's defense. Things are going to be open when they're trying to trap like that, so that's not on Murphy. But overall, I think that kind of that little play with Raekwon Gray, I think, was really encouraging. To end this video, we're going to see Murphy again, NBA range. That one can't go. And we're going to get a foul, and I believe this is it. So that ends the video for Trey Murphy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Interesting prospect. Again, right now, probably like late 20s for me, but definitely a worthwhile investment for any team that wants to contend. Just to have another guy who's 6'9", can guard 1 through 4, and then can obviously shoot the lights out of the ball. That's going to help you a lot in the playoffs. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, thanks for 400 subscribers today. Really means a lot. And yeah, thanks so much. And we will see you tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for another breakdown. Thanks. Have a great one.